to recognize our next witness, the gentleman from Georgia, Mr. Carter, who is recognized for 5 minutes.
Well, I thank the ranking member and thank you, Madam Chair, for this opportunity to present to you. I have the honor and privilege of representing the 1st Congressional District of Georgia. The 1st Congressional District of Georgia includes the entire coast of Georgia, over 110 miles of coastline, of pristine coastline that includes barrier islands as well. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. Our economy, particularly in the 1st Congressional District, is very dependent on a number of different things dealing with the coast. For instance, the Georgia ports, tourism, seafood, and more. The coastline is integral to our economy and to our quality of life. But unfortunately, our area has been hit by hurricanes in 3 of the last 4 years, and it had another near miss this year with Hurricane Dorian. Tybee Island is one of those barrier islands that I was referring to earlier. And the city of Tybee Island is taking these natural disasters very seriously and is a model for cities around the country that are trying to prepare for these weather events. Among other things, the city of Tybee Island is working on a major beach renourishment project that uses federal funds authorized through WRDA. However, the Corps of Engineers, in its latest cost-benefit analysis study, jeopardizes the project's future beyond 2023. Because of language in WRDA, the Corps is forced to use an outdated cost-benefit model, which in Tybee's instance can only look at damages that might occur during the next 15 years. Tybee, though, won't see damages until 2060, which is largely due to the hard work and financial investments they have been putting into the island in order to protect itself from weather events. My staff has discussed this issue with the Army Corps of Engineers, the T&I committee staff, and other members' offices, and we believe we have some legislative language that can fix this situation. The language specifically authorizes the Secretary to recommend that Congress authorize up to 50 years of nourishment to begin on the date of construction and adds general study authority to extend the period of nourishment for up to an additional 50 years after expiration of the original authorized period of nourishment. I will be submitting the full extent of the language along with other offices for the record and encourage the committee to include it in this year's version of WRDA. Simply put, we need to ensure that our communities are becoming more resilient in the face of these storms. But with WRDA's current language on cost-benefit analysis, we are punishing communities who are trying to take those steps. Again, I want to thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Mr. Ranking Member and members of the committee, for allowing me to bring up this very important issue involving the 1st Congressional District of Georgia. Over 110 miles of pristine coastline with barrier islands. Our economy is dependent on our coastline. We have seen changes in the weather. We've seen the impact of storms, of weather events. We have been doing our part. The city of Tybee Island has been doing their part in preparing for this. They should not be penalized for simply being prepared. And that's what's happening here, because they're being penalized because of outdated language. And this is what our legislation tries to do, to update that language, to make it applicable to what is happening today. So I thank you, Madam Chair, for this opportunity to present before the committee today.
Thank you, sir, for your testimony. Do you have